Yo, Space Gang, welcome to the BK Spadez Show where society meets pop culture. I am your host, the BK Spadez, and now I'm here with my very lovely co-host,
Novocaine, baby.
Alright, Space Gang, do me a favor, head over to www.thebkspadeshow.com. That's www.thebkspadeshow.com, where you can get all the audio and video and purchase some really cool merch like mugs and this really cool society and pop culture hoodie. Now, Novocaine, do me another favor and tell them what else they gotta do.
Head on over to Spotify. That's right, Spotify, and leave us a 5-star rating. 5-star rating, and head over to Apple Podcasts where you can leave us a written review. And you can leave 5 stars there as well.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Hit them with the thank you. All right, Space Gang, without further ado, we're going to get into this show. Stay tuned. All right, Space Gang. As promised, we got the homie Ace McFly in the studio today. And we are going to be talking about this whole NFL controversy that's been happening with Brian Flores, the coach of the Miami Dolphins, well, former coach of the Miami Dolphins. Gonna ask Ace to do a lot of the heavy lifting. We're gonna be asking him a few questions about the situation because this is his expertise. You know what I'm saying? I am just a guest in the house that is Ace McFly. So,
and I'm a fly on the wall.
Let's jump. Well, first of all, you're a fly on the wall. First of all, Ace, man, thank you for coming through. How's everything been going? Update. It's been a while since you've been on the show.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys for having me, for sure. It's been busy, man, working, coaching, preparing for next season.
Y'all getting that championship this season.
It's a grind for sure.
Y'all getting that this season.
Last year was a little bit of a disappointment.
Y'all was close.
We got to,
y'all got it this year. We manifesting it. We putting it out there in the universe.
We got to manifest it.
You got to hit it with the Yugo, go
all the players that's coming in, they're going to dominate. You know, you're going to get some new star players. Watch what I tell you. It's going to happen.
The Holy Spirit activate,
Yeah, whatever Tom Brady was doing, giving that to y'all. Y'all in the same neck of the woods right now.
Well, that's that check posted. We got to get a check posted for that.
Absolutely. So, you were gonna tell us a little bit about how the squad did last year. Is that where you were about to go?
Well, quickly, varsity. We were expected to go probably undefeated. We didn't. We lost a couple games. Still made the playoffs, but lost in the first round to the number 1 running back in the country. JV was 6-1 and balled out, so a lot of them kids are gonna be moving up. It'll be good. A good revamp, retool. No rebuild. It's just a retool. You're gonna get to work.
Y'all getting that championship. Y'all getting it.
Clap that up. Good. That's always a good look when you have a successful season like that. But yeah, like Novocaine said, y'all definitely getting that ship next time, man. For sure. All right, so let's jump right into this. How did we go from him being okay, first of all, it is not like a hidden secret that NFL coaches, when it comes to black men, we're often not looked at. We're not given the opportunities for real. Or it's not, and it wasn't many black coaches in the NFL at all anyway. What is it? I don't know how many it was, but I think it's like 1 left now as a head coach, which is crazy. And I've been looking at clips and stuff for the past week or so where these coaches the black coaches have been coming out talking about their experiences with getting hired or watching their people that on their staffs as like their assistants or offensive coordinators, whatever, who's ever on their staff, they're watching them get promoted over them and moved into the head coach positions. So can you talk about a little bit of that? Like how do we get here, and how has things not changed this entire time?
I would say one of the biggest issues is there's like a good old boy system, like a buddy system. It's like I know this guy. This guy's my friend. I'm gonna hire him, or he's a friend of a friend. I'm gonna hire him, or he's a friend of a friend of a friend. And none of those friends are these, very, very qualified minority coaches. I won't even just say black, it's minority coaches. And
Yeah.
then, on top of that, with you get that with networking connections and things. You have, of course, there's a racial aspect to it in some instances where you'll have a guy that they don't want a minority face in a position of power or leadership.
Yeah.
So it's like, come on, man. 70%, I think it's 74% of the players in the league are minorities or African American. Little league, they're coached by African American coaches. High school, college, even youth ball, like 8U, 7U. But then you're telling me once we get pro, that these coaches or coaches that have coached these kids can't do that job? No, impossible. So it's a lot of things rolled up into a ball that just really isn't fair. Really isn't fair. And I'm glad it's being spoken on now. Should have been earlier, but it is now. We can get it in now.
Better late than never.
I do. Facts. I do find it odd that, like you said, a lot of these kids are brought up by black coaches, and a lot of times there's the staff, especially in the NFL, is mostly made up of black men as well. Well, I don't want to say mostly made up of black men, but a majority of them are black men as well. And it goes back to that. Remember a few years back, about 6-7 years, especially when Cam Newton was coming on, and you had what's another black quarterback? Any black quarterback, honestly, it was around before Cam. Let's say before Cam.
Vic McNabb.
Who was the coach? Who was McNabb and
Jason Campbell?
McNabb.
Thank you.
I got to throw him in there. I got to throw him in
All
there.
that slipped my mind just now. It's been a long time. So you had all these black quarterbacks, right? And the number one argument of why these men didn't deserve to lead the team, especially when you're watching your ESPNs and your CBS Sports, is they always brought it back down to the mental capacity of the black player. They say, yeah, you're good enough to run the ball. You're good enough to tackle. You can follow directions, but when it comes down to leading in the NFL, you can't do that. People wonder why it's such a big deal when we see black football players lead Alabama. Not so much with Auburn or any black, any white D1
PWI.
HBCU, any D1 school, predominantly white institution that has a black quarterback. We're like instant celebration. And we just want these people to do well because it is still an anomaly at this point that they are able to even get the position. True, sometimes it's because someone gets hurt or someone leaves the school, but they still get the opportunity eventually. So I find that disheartening a little bit that here we are, 2022, and we're still going through this, which is going to my next point here. Brian Flores. And what is the rule that stopped him or that stopped a lot of coaches from, well, not stop, but it gets them to interview,
Rooney
but
rule.
they're not hiring them?
Yeah.
What is it?
Rooney rule.
Okay, so explain the Rooney rule really quick.
So, real quick to keep it, it's basically they have to interview 2 minority candidates that are outside of the organization. So, if I'm I don't know, let's just say Giants, and we're looking for a head coach, I have to interview 2 coaches that are outside of the Giants organization before making my hire, before hiring the guy. And that could be for a head coach or a GM. I think that's the only 2 positions the Rooney rule exists for. I'm not sure if it's any other ones, but just those two.
Okay.
No, did you have
No,
a question or anything?
I guess that kind of works. I don't know how to feel about that though, because if I'm working for the organization and you looking outside of our company first, I think I would feel some type of way. Just like how, like, in my position now, I would feel some type of way if they brought somebody outside of our company to run our team before they decided to, you know, bring somebody that's inside of the company. So, I mean, I don't know. I guess it is one of those things that I feel so about, because what if that organization doesn't have that many minorities working in there, working behind the scenes? So I guess it's okay, but I still would feel some type of way.
When the Giants were interviewing for head coaching candidate, they interviewed their defensive coordinator. He's a black man, Patrick Graham. They interviewed him. That's fine. It works. But it doesn't count towards the Rooney Rule because
He's not
he wasn't an outside candidate. So they'll still interview him. It's just, does it count or not? And if the team doesn't know that it doesn't count, then they'll be trying to scramble at the end of the week or whatever to try and get an interview to cover it. So it's weird.
So it's like one of those. It's a double-edged thing.
Yeah.
At one point, you're like, yeah, this is good for diversity. At least initially, it feels that way. But then, just like with everything, there are those loopholes or those downsides to the rule. Just like with affirmative action, where you begin to question of, did I get hired because of my skills?
Because they need some diversity
to fill a quota.
I felt that way before.
Yeah, and then sometimes, and you know, it brings up different emotions in everyone. You know, white people feel like they're being mistreated, and then they claim racism because now they got overlooked by a black person. But then again, that black person may have been qualified and more qualified than that white candidate. But all of that is clouded because of the affirmative action. So is that a little bit of that going on with the Rooney Rule? I mean, obviously not really, because, you know, it's not like any black people are getting hired here.
Yeah. Oh no, it's going on. It's definitely going on. You're barking up the right tree. It's going on because you're seeing a lot of guys. Okay, we'll just bring in two minority candidates, or we'll bring in and hire what looks or what claims to be a minority candidate. Dolphins.
So he's not mixed.
Oh
yeah, we gotta talk about that guy.
Well, he you know, I don't know. I can't judge that. I ain't the one that's gonna judge the color, but they say his father was mixed, mother was white. So hey, you gonna get what you get.
So he doing the one drop rule at this point.
Yeah. Can we talk about that a little bit? Because the one drop rule. I saw you post about this guy, and I didn't know that's what was going on. I was just looking at the video that you posted because dude has a, let's say, eccentric personality, and I was like, damn, I would tune in to watch this dude just do interviews because
I saw that.
It's kind of hilarious.
What I saw too. Like,
I didn't know that this was all connected.
Yeah, you just saw the memes and stuff, right? The clips, and then it's like, oh, so he's the new head coach. Oh, yeah.
So because when I started researching about Brian Flores, I was like, oh snap! Wait a minute. Oh. Now Ace is probably looking at me like, I know you see this controversy that's happening right now. In my defense, I ain't know. Like,
it's so much controversy right now. That's what was happening in a lot of different areas. It's hard to keep up sometimes.
Yeah. This is the most confusing NFL controversy I've ever seen in my entire life. Let's talk about this. So how does this all connect with Brian? Because he is now suing the NFL, correct?
For discrimination?
Yep. Okay, so why?
No, not discrimination. It's a class action lawsuit. Basically, he's suing the NFL and the Giants, the Dolphins. Oh, I'm not too sure about the Dolphins and the Broncos. The
Okay.
Broncos for the like the popcorn interview. Like they interviewed him, but he
Yeah.
has claims that John Elway and who came in with him were drunk and like visibly inebriated and stuff. And then they said the Giants interview was a sham, that they already knew who they were hiring or had already hired who they had, based
Oh,
off the text messages
Now
between
that's
him and Bill.
oh, the drama.
okay. Can we talk about
The
the text
drama.
messages real quick? Yeah, because I think that's where everybody was like, "What? No way that happened."
So, and I'll say this up front, Bill Belichick didn't do anything wrong. He was just congratulating one of
Yeah,
his guys on getting a job. Then in the surface of the messages, he was like, "Oh, I misunderstood the text. They meant Brian Daboll, who the Giants who the Giants hired."
Okay.
But the date of these
yeah.
messages were before Brian Flores even interviewed in New York. So it's like, if
Oh,
somebody knows that the Giants already hired their candidate, they didn't even interview Flores, who isn't scheduled to interview until Friday.
wow.
You would think that there's like a chain, like a group messaging with all the coaches, or at least some, and it definitely comes off as okay. Some people know, like there's a group chat for some people, then there's a group chat for other people, which is the implication of that is crazy within itself because, like you said, that was some
Yeah.
inside information going on, or was it inside information? Are these just homies all together that just know
Possibly,
shit
it could be a
about
little
each
bit of
other
both.
this
It
entire
could be a
time?
little
You
bit
know
of
what I'm
both for
saying?
real.
So Belichick, Flores coached under Belichick,
Okay.
and Belichick also used
Yeah,
to coach with the Giants in the 80s, 90s, or early 90s, 70s,
yeah.
80s, and 90s. And so he's connected. He got people. He knows people. He has the connections. So he'll get the information. For you, like, oh, my guy got the job, and he misunderstood it. Now, knowing
He old man that
you
text
could say
chain.
that, it just seems like, oh, the old man goofed. But Bill Belichick not stupid. Bill Belichick is smart. He's
True.
very smart. And
Are you suggesting that he knew that he did that on purpose? Is that what
all
Is
you're
he
I'm
saying?
trying to
saying is
expose?
it might be a plot twist. he might he might
Uh
have he might
oh.
have known exactly what it was. I would
Hold on,
hope
wait a
so.
minute. Hold on, wait a minute. Hold on. We gotta say it.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, just in case.
Alle-
Allegedly, he knew. Just in case.
allegedly, Jason Voorhees texted him. So
NFL general manager Jason Voorhees.
so
That's a throwback to the new Spades game members. If you ain't never caught a crossover crew episode, especially our Halloween episode,
I can't
you got to
believe
go
you
back
just
and
got me
watch
that
that
weak
one
just
to get
now.
that
Oh
joke.
my god, you just got me so weak. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. But from
All right, so
what I saw, if I'm not mistaken, Bill Belichick is actually supporting Brian Flores, right?
yeah.
Okay.
yeah, because he definitely apologized at the end of
Okay.
that text chat.
Okay.
Yeah, that's his boy. That's his boy. He like,
Okay.
hey man, I didn't mean to stir up any info. And Brian on his 2 cents, he like, oh, hold on now, how you know that? And it goes on from
Right?
there.
That, now you sitting there talking to your girl. Hey, this dude knew I had an interview before
Right.
everybody else did.
Well,
Wait
he
a
knew
minute
who they
now.
hired.
Sum up. And she was
He knew
probably
who they
like,
hired.
yeah, you're right. And his lady was like, there's something up with that. You need to look into that. I'm just saying because my wife do that all the time. I be missing something. She be like,
Redo.
nah, you need to go
Redo.
back and check that. You need to go back and check because something up.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's like wow. Within itself is crazy. So how does the NFL rebound to this? Like, have they had any responses?
Yeah. NFL, they made a statement, of course, saying they recognize that they have issues that day back or whatever.
The
Yeah,
usual
That's what I was about to say. It sounds like something.
we acknowledge it. Now, if you go back to 2016 when Kaepernick was making his stand, and Neil making his kneel and everything, it kind of they have
Semantics.
the opportunity to get out ahead of this and get on the right side of it because of that experience. They can do that. So ball is in the NFL's court. Like, hey, y'all can get behind them, make the changes, recognize, investigate it the right way, or they can just rub elbows and be like, look, we'll say this and do this on the other end.
Do you think they're actually?
I don't think anything's going to change.
I mean, going back to the Kaepernick situation, it was a doozy on the way up. I
don't think they'll do it right. They'll do something to keep the money coming in. It'll be like the Redskins changing their name to the Commanders, like that.
You know what? I kind of wanted to talk about that too since we had you here. I don't want to switch gears just yet, so I'm gonna put that on the. Maybe we get back into that at the end of the episode.
Talk about that because listen, as a former fan, because I had to cut off that toxic relationship. I just don't know. Like, we're going to talk about that though.
We're gonna put the pin. We got to put a pin in that one.
I kind of feel like the NFL at this point, like, they're just going to do whatever they feel like doing. Like you said, they're just going to put a little Band-Aid over it. Next thing you know, in another 5 to 10 years, we're going to have another scandal coming out based off of race. And I just feel like it's one of those companies that's just backed by the military, United States military, backed by our government, that's just going to do whatever they want to do. They're going to still make their money.
That's exactly how it feels.
Think about when COVID first hit, right? They was trying to figure out what they was going to do with like those first few weeks of the season. They didn't stop. They didn't postpone the season. They kept it moving.
No, that's a corporation. A corporation
on court.
It's just what it is. Business is business. Don't take it personal, But when it does get personal, then you sue, just like Brian is, and that's why I'm digging all of the support.
Did Tony Dungy say something?
A lot of the players.
He wrote a letter to, I want to say, the NFL and its owners, basically saying, all right, y'all got to stop. Y'all got to stop the shenanigans because minority coaches are getting done dirty. Essentially what it's saying.
They get done dirty, and then they have to hold that as if it was their fault initially. Like the Rooney Rule, just like, again, with affirmative action, they're going to take all of the hit, and whoever created the rule or thought it was a good idea is just going to skate by and then act like they weren't there in the first place. So I hate that it's happening this way, but at least there is some support. People are starting to get around Brian Flores. I've seen a few statements here and there. And then I seen some dumbass statements. I can't remember old buddy from ESPN name.
Let's just call him old buddy.
Oh,
I think I sent you that clip.
I know who you're talking about. I can't think of his name.
This man went off on like a whole tangent of nothing in defense of the NFL in this situation. I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? You're like, oh, like I said, when I said that they're going to put it on the shoulders of the black men and the black coaches. That's exactly what he did. Like, I can't remember. I'll try to put the clip up on the on the Instagram and on the Twitter if I can find it again. But I just found it incredibly stupid that he would say something like that. And this is another black guy. And I'm like, dude, the black man, it's not his fault in this one. Like, he didn't ask for the Rooney Rule. He didn't ask to not be treated fairly. And you talking about it falls on both sides. No, it doesn't. It falls on the side of the NFL and the Broncos and the Giants and whoever else that messed over this man's career like this. That's their fault. And he has every right to sue them, as he should, because if he was anybody else, if this was Bill Belichick or any of the prominent white coaches, and they had this situation going on, guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna sue too. They're gonna get their money. They're gonna get their check. So that's when I'm like, shoot, big ups to Brian Flores. Take on the system. And he ain't taking on the whole NFL. He just taking on those 3 teams that did him dirty. Which
as he should.
He's doing exactly what he should.
As he should. Just like I need to.
Just like Scarlett Johansson in Disney.
I should have.
Get your money. Get your money.
You said Scarlett Johansson. Yes, get her. She need to get her money. They need to start playing with ScarJo.
Yeah,
and just like this one company I was supposed to sue, and I should have sued them. They didn't hire me because they claimed that I had went to court. That's the reason why I wasn't hired. When I think that the real reason I wasn't hired was because I was a black girl with dreadlocks. That's the real reason why I think I wasn't hired.
Yeah, that's
because it wasn't like I was unqualified.
That's a whole nother issue.
They didn't even tell me. That was like I could have went to court for anything. I could have went to court for anything. To be on a jury, for child support, me receiving child support, anything. I could have went to court for anything, being a witness in a crime, anything. You know?
Yeah.
But they was like, oh.
But they didn't even. No, did they even ask
she said that you weren't selected because you went to court.
You know, that very violent.
These black hat situations.
Very violent stoplight ticket you got. That's what.
Right. When you was driving with no lights on, you were driving with no lights on, so you had to get a ticket and go to court. They pay for your ticket.
A monster.
Right.
So yeah, I mean,
you could have been in jail.
You could have been exactly, but I mean, that's what we have to deal with this country. You know, it's like people want to use us for our talents, our knowledge, our style, but we cannot be in positions of power.
No, we see this all the time, especially dealing with once you get to a certain point, it's like, okay, too much. Let's humble you a little bit. And I know people are like, that's crazy. Why would they do that? No, that is true. They will try to find a way to humble you every single time. All right, so
I was gonna say,
no,
that's
ahead,
what you know. The whole thing is they're like, oh, Brian torpedoed his career, and it's like, I mean, the fact that we know that he torpedoed his career, we shouldn't know that. It shouldn't be a torpedo of his career. He shouldn't ruin his career. He's a great coach. Well, let me stop throwing great around. He's a good coach. Right? He's
like, hold on now. I'm saying I'm with you, but let's not add no bull on top of that. Like,
no, but it's hard to be Tomlin. There's white coaches that's not Tomlin. Tomlin never had a losing season.
That is a tremendous Black history fact right there.
Perfect timing.
That is Black history.
That is facts.
It is. And the fact that people also on Twitter, the conversation was like, he doesn't deserve recognition for this.
Who, Brian or Mike?
What? No.
What?
So it goes back to the point of they will try to find a way to humble you no matter what. No matter what the accomplishment is.
See, this is what be pissing me off about Twitter. Because it's like, I always forget that, opinions are like assholes. Everyone have one. And then, unfortunately, every asshole is different, So...
Yeah,
I cannot believe that they said.
I just wrote, I just was like, yeah, every asshole is different. You're absolutely correct. Like I've seen multiple assholes.
I mean, you got kids, don't you?
Don't bring me back. Don't bring me back to having to change diapers. I've been out there for a long time. A long time. I'm not going back. I'm not going back to diaper changes.
Ignorant can a human being be? He has been coaching for 15, 16 years? Something like that? And you telling me that one of those seasons was a losing season. How is that not an accomplishment? I hate Twitter sometimes. I love Twitter and I hate it.
Because he didn't win the Super Bowl
that
every
doesn't
time.
matter.
That's what they say. He
won majority of their day.
One.
So?
He won 1 or 2.
He got one. That's all.
He won one and he lost one. They lost that one to the
Okay.
Packers, and then they beat somebody, the Cardinals.
The Bears or something? The Cards.
Nah, the Cardinals. They beat the Cardinals
Okay,
last year with Kurt Warner.
Okay, yeah. I remember that.
All right, let's wrap it up so we can move on to some other conversation.
We're gonna talk about the Commanders
because it is football weekend. That we're. You know what?
First of all,
let's talk about the Commanders. Is there anything? Hold on, wait. Is there anything left on the Brian Flores conversation that we may have missed that we didn't bring up?
I mean, I'm not sure what's going on now. It's just a class action lawsuit, but he got coaches speaking out. Hugh Jackson, a lot of HBCU coaches trying to come into his defense. I just hope there's more people that get behind him, because I referenced Kaepernick in 2016. He didn't have anybody. He actually had us, some of us speaking out against him.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna say it rhymes with typhoon, but it's an animal with a mask. Some of them, we gotta quiet some of them down. They gonna say it. But
he said the animal with the mask. That's what's taking me out.
Quiet some of them.
Sly Cooper's running around here.
A lot of Sly. What was his name? RJ from that one movie, Over the Hedge.
Oh, Over the Hedge, yes, RJ, yes.
Okay, we're gonna move on before we get canceled in here.
I like that you brought that movie up because that is an underrated animated film right there. That's underrated right there. Over the Hedge was hilarious.
I skipped that movie, but I know the character, but I didn't watch it.
Go ahead and watch that with the kids.
Don't look. We talking about football. We're talking about football today.
Okay, I'm not
judging me on my
I'm
one
not.
movie
We were
that I
still
missed.
technically kids at the time when it dropped. So I mean, at least I was, but I don't know about you, Odie.
No, I was in college.
I'm just kidding.
I was in college.
I was in college.
That's cold. You bringing up age
I
like
was
that.
in college. Ace.
I was a little concerned though for a second. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, I was still in high school.
That was like
I was
06,
still in high
07,
school.
wasn't it? Yeah, you definitely was in
See,
high school.
so technically, I was still a kid.
I say this like I was like in your neighborhood.
You
or
were.
something.
Remember we grew up together.
All right, let's move. Yeah, that's exactly the narrative we're shooting for this show. We're from the same city, everyone. Okay, let's talk about. I also want to talk about Auburn later because that situation has been crazy. But let's talk about the Commanders.
Lord.
The Cobra Commanders. It would have been a way better name if y'all was the Cobra
First of all, the main.
I'm sorry, not y'all. If DC,
The main thing that pissed off all of the fans.
Washington Cobras.
That would have been a hard name, Cobras. That would have been a hard name. But that also sounds like an XFL name or something. But anyway, the main thing that pissed off all of the fans across the nation was, what was the point? I think it was like last year. It had to be last year, like this time last year. They put out a tweet. They even had it like in their little newsletter that they send like in emails on the email list. Which name do you like as a fan? And they had a long list of names. These were the top names: Red Wolves, Red Hogs, Red Tails. And there was like another fourth one that was nowhere near a commander. And
Red Commanders.
Chill.
That's what you didn't remember. It was on the list.
Chill. Then the whole point of changing the name Redskin was because it was derogatory. It was racist. It had some racist meanings behind it.
Yeah.
So you got rid of the Redskins to rename them the Commanders of the people that took out of the Redskins. I'm just saying. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I was thinking the same thing. You
didn't
went
even think
from
about that.
Basically a racial slur to I support the military. That's
Right.
essentially what it is. Like
Right.
it's almost Blue Lives Matter. It's almost I went from Redskins to Blue
Almost.
Lives.
It's like this cause.
Oh gosh,
It's
don't put that in the
this
narrative. Now they're about to
I'm
start
saying it. I'm
saying
saying it.
all Blue Lives Matter. People about to be commanders.
They already are. What are you
Nah.
talking about?
The
Every
thing
one
is,
of them.
I don't.
I didn't know. Hey, I don't be keeping up with
And I
Washington
don't
like
have a
that.
beef with the name Commander. It's cool, but it's what you're coming from. You were the Washington Redskins, unfortunately, and
Hmm.
Unfortunately, shut up.
you don't go from that side to the other side. You don't go from that
Right.
side to the other side. Red Hawks would have been dope. Red Tails, Red Wolves,
Yeah,
Red. It
I would have went
would
with
have
Red
been dope, but
Hawks.
they probably just tried to get away from red and just wanted a whole new, which I get it, but
They
not
could have named
Commander.
them I think one of the names could have been like I think they said Liberties or something like that. For all of that, they could have went with that.
Conquistadors.
I'm gonna stick with the rest of the internet, and I'm gonna say y'all really should have been the Cobra Commanders. Like that would have been
I
so
wanted to
cool.
be the Red
And
Tails.
look,
That's what I voted
listen,
on.
and you still, hold on, and you still connected to GI Joe, which is based on
Shut the
America.
fuck
So
up. And we the
boom,
nation's capital. So that's what you're trying to
boom,
say?
you still get it.
Oh my
Yeah,
fucking
so it
goodness.
still works out in some semblance. So I'm
I'm
just saying,
stressed.
like, what is it? 12 degrees to Kevin Bacon.
I
Same
am
thing.
stressed.
Same thing.
But yeah, I had to stop being a fan
So you guys getting that merch though? Why you stop being a fan
because it
though?
was a toxic relationship. I told myself that after 30 years of being a fan, like, they weren't really doing anything. Like, I mean, we went to the playoffs a few times, but I mean, okay. And then, like, everything that the fans root for, just like, my main thing that really pissed me off was that one season with RG3. And everybody was like, put him on the bench. Let him heal. Let him get better. And the coach was like, nah, he got it. And just threw him out there. And next thing you know, he became a meme for the next 10 years doing the stinky leg and stuff. And I'm just like, man, we could have avoided this.
Yeah.
So that was like
Yeah, he was not ready
that
to
was
be
the
back on
start.
that field. I
Yeah,
forgot
that was
that
the
even
start of my
happened.
downfall of divorcing them. And then this past year, like, naming them the Commanders was like the cherry on top.
You was like, yep, that's it.
I like this one
Done.
tweet. They
Dunzo.
said, y'all haven't commanded shit in the past 35 years. How you gonna name yourself the Commanders? And I do hope that it does put like some type of like motivation in the players to play better or whatever. But I hate the name. I'm not here for it. Maybe it'll grow on me. Maybe not.
Listen, I'm just saying if I had to go as the Washington football team, I wouldn't have no pride either. Like football team. That was you might as well just been called
The,
No
Washington
name.
generic.
It should just been no
the
name.
Washingtons. It's
The
the
unknowns.
Washingtons.
The
The
unknowns.
unknowns.
The
I'll go with
Washingtons.
the
Just
Washingtons.
Denzel
The
is the
Washingtons.
logo. Yeah, the
The
Washingtons.
Washingtons. Hey, you stupid. You stupid.
Denzel
Not,
and
not Denzel as the
and
logo,
John
boy.
David is the other logo on the other side.
Abraham Lincoln should have been the logo.
Ugh.
You know what? The forefathers may have not been a terrible name.
Hell
They
no.
were racist
Now
too.
those they were racist and they owned slaves. No, sir. No, thank you.
Well, I
That's
mean,
even
yeah,
worse.
but I'm just saying it would have made sense, you know, because you
They
was in
had some
DC.
Rodney King type riots if they would.
If they wanted
The Washington Obamas.
DC and Washington Obamas. If they wanted some DC culture in there, they could have. I don't know, but Commanders, I just don't know. Like Commanders, just not rubbing me. And I think Red Tails, like you said, they wanted to get rid of the whole red part, so maybe that's why they didn't go that route. But the Red Tails, at least, is a historical name. Like they were Tuskegee Airmen,
Yeah,
the first Tuskegee Airmen. Like I don't know, man.
yeah, that's why they
Yeah.
weren't finna go with that. That's
It was like,
exactly
that's
why
too
they
black.
weren't going with that. It was like, no, we're not having that. Yeah, that's too much. It was
We
like,
fi-
I mean, we're here.
we
There's a
finally-
lot of black people
We
in
finally got
DC,
these.
but,
We finally got these
wait a
sneakers
minute.
to stop calling it the Chocolate City, and you guys wanted to call it the Red Tails. So we can't go that route. No way.
No way.
We're not going back down
Not
there.
here. There won't be no
I don't
jinx on
even know
this show.
who you rooting for, Ace, in the Super Bowl.
The Rams. Oh, we
Hold
can
on,
get
Oh,
let's
to
shit.
go
I'll
get
shut
to
up.
that. Wait a minute. That's
I ain't say
sorry.
yeah,
nothing.
yeah.
I ain't say nothing.
Let's move to this Auburn situation really fast. Let's talk about Auburn really
this one
quickly
become a
here.
fly again because I don't know too much about college ball right now.
Hold on, I don't know a lot anymore. I kind of been on the outside looking in, but as a person from Alabama, and my Twitter be like, "Yo, Auburn got some issues." As a former Auburn fan, and the reason I'm not an Auburn fan is I just kind of fell out of love with college football, with D1 college football. This new coach, I watched the Iron Bowl. I watched some games leading up to the Iron Bowl, and this new coach has not been great. But they are ready to throw this man away already, and it's been like one season. What are your thoughts on one season coaches? Is that fair? Should he get 2 or 3 chances?
Yes.
If he was black, he would have been gone.
Are we past that now?
He'd have been gone. The least, if he was a black coach, he would have been gone already. You started.
That's facts.
You started. He's been there since 2020, and then you had coaches leave. You had the most transfer outs. You had some crazy 20-something transfers, kids leaving. You got the issue now with the with the cheating scandal and whatnot. He would have been gone.
Wait. Now, who got a cheating scandal?
So apparently there was this one young girl that he was dealing with. I mean, she's not young. She's a college student that he's been cheating on. Are we talking about the sexual thing that was floating around? Or are we talking about another scandal? I don't know the
details of it, but I know, they say something about he was cheating with like a grad assistant or something like that. One of them students. Yeah. Was like a graduate student, something like that.
Yeah, I don't know how true it is. I don't know how much.
Face
I don't know how relevant that is now, but whatever the case is, for now his job is safe, I believe. Right?
I don't think so. Because you hear reports. Some people say he may be on his way out. Other reports are saying that they may be trying to get behind him, and that's our guy. So I don't know. Usually when they do that, we're behind them 100%. That just mean they looking. That doesn't mean they looking. They looking.
Yeah. I tuned in to the Auburn safe place.
That was probably funny.
What is that on Twitter? The Spaces. Man, some of the fans was there. They were upset. Some of the alumni was there. It wasn't a shit show. It was very quiet, very respectful, but you could tell people were hurt, upset, and a little sad by the situation. And everybody had the one question of, if he goes, who's coming in to fix this, and how can it be fixed? So, I mean, I definitely ain't got them answers. Do you have one, Ace?
On who? You got plenty options. You got plenty options as far as who could fix it or who could come in. Again, we're talking about Alabama, like the state. So, that was the big thing, because in this state you have to compete against Alabama, the football team. And you're in the same division. You gotta come with it. Brian Harson's a good coach, really good coach. Honestly, as a Florida State fan, well, kind of Florida State fan. I'm more on my HBCUs nowadays than anything.
Okay.
But I wanted Brian Harsin at Florida State when they were, going in between Jimbo Fisher and now Mike Norvell. I'd wanted Harsin in between. So he's a good coach, but he might have bit off a little more than he can chew going to the SEC. So, competing against Bama, LSU, Florida, Georgia, Mississippi State, Ole Miss, all those teams. So as far as options to replace him, you at Auburn. You got plenty options. You big school, you got money, you got booster backings, all of that stuff. You're going to have a lot of options if you were to fire him. It's just money. Like, who's going to come up with the money to buy him out of his contract?
Yeah. I think the biggest thing in that situation, I misspoke earlier. Not only do you have to compete against recruiting of Nick Saban in Alabama, you also have to compete with the HBCUs reemerging that's been happening here recently too. So it's like a lot of black players have been looking at these HBCUs more seriously again.
And
So,
on that
good
note
luck.
about that,
Yeah.
like the HBCUs having a come up, it's like, all right, you got Travis Hunter, you got the other cat, I want to say Kevin something from Missouri, one of the other top receivers. You got guys like that now coming. What we can do as fans of HBCUs, boosters, alumni, we gotta come up and support fiscally, not as well. Loudly, verbally and all that, posting, that's cool. But you gotta put some money. You gotta put some money
Yeah.
into it. So, like me, I support the schools I went to: Kentucky State, Tennessee State, and then a little bit of FAMU. Although FAMU was a rival school for me, my mom went to FAMU. So it's
Yeah.
we got to put money up as people. We got to put and support our own. Show up to them classic games. Show up to the regular season games. All of that stuff.
Yeah. Buy some official merch.
Official.
Buy
Official.
official
Yes.
merch. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's okay to support your homie that's making HBCU stuff because some of that stuff is dope. But, use a little bit of that budget and go buy actual official school
They
sanctioned
got a school
merchandise
store
over there as
Yep,
well.
they got
Because
school
they need it.
stores. They got online shops.
Yeah.
Put that
Online,
money
yeah.
there.
Yeah. Get your little tag, your little tag cover. Go ahead and get that. Everybody got them. Just support. You are absolutely. That's a great ass point. All right, let's move over to this Super Bowl because Nova like, all right, this is
No,
enough of
I
this
just
Auburn
don't. I
talk.
just didn't know what to say
Let's
because,
get
like
into
I
this
said,
Super Bowl.
it took me a long time to get into college football, and then like these past, like ever since the Colin Kaepernick thing, I've been like kind of looking at football, but not really. So like I definitely dumped college football after that.
Yeah.
So, and I think it was actually Ace that told me. Ace actually was one of the people that told me, well, if you're going to boycott NFL, you could get real serious with college football right now. So, and I didn't take that advice.
Yeah.
Advice.
It's college football has
It's
been
a lot.
heated.
It's
I
a lot
will
more
admit that.
action
It has
too.
been-
It's definitely a lot more action for sure.
It's honestly
I
go
did.
ahead. I was gonna say it's
Go
more
ahead.
me. Why I've been watching football since 3, 4, 5 years old. I love them equally, but if someone asked me which one is more exciting when I watch it, college easily.
College. It is.
College easily.
And,
The bands.
and is it
Yeah,
because that's
all
what I was
that
about to say? The fans, then you got the band and the dancers, cheerleaders are even better. Like it's just the whole environment is a lot more fun for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go and say it like this: when it comes down to that band thing,
Don't
though,
you say Miles?
as far as HBCUs, MEAC, SWAC, those divisions, that's where it's at right there. Because SWAC is okay. SWAC is okay, but they're limited. They limit the bands more than MEAC. So I enjoy a good MEAC game because the bands can pretty much, for the most part, go back and forth throughout most of the game. Where with SWAC, you only have limited songs. You have limited play time.
I didn't know
when you
that.
do play those songs.
I didn't know it was
So-
limited on the swag.
Yeah,
side.
so like at the end of the game, you know how the bands go back and forth? I think on SWAC you can only do like 4 or 5 songs. I don't know if they changed that, but when I was marching at Miles, shout out Miles College, I found that out as well. I was like, oh, we can't play these many songs because we're A&M and they're SWAC, so you have to limit that. But when you MEAC though, they just be like, whatever. That's the hood
Hey,
version.
chill.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. The hood rules, they be like, whatever, let's go. We here for the entertainment, goddamn.
Okay, we
let's
here
go.
for the entertainment.
People be in the stands like,
There
yo, if
is
the band don't play,
nothing like an
jeez.
HBCU football game, young. There's nothing like it. Oh, don't go to a homecoming, baby.
Ooh.
And look, and that's when
homecoming
so
and
the
classic.
number one player in the country, Travis Hunter, went to that Jackson State. I want to say it was Jackson State or Alcorn State. Well, no, he went to Jackson State's homecoming. He had been committed to Florida State for about 2 years. He went to that HBCU homecoming at Jackson State.
It was a wrap.
Signing day was coming up. Rap.
Right.
You
That's what I'm
seen all
talking
them
about.
sisters, man.
Look, That's all you got to do. Take your kids somewhere where they can experience HBCU, especially your black kids, because there's a. Don't get me wrong. You can have fun at the Division I school. You'll probably get more looks at a Division I school right now.
That's as an athlete.
I mean, more NFL looks at this. You want to, as an athlete. But once it's a different feeling on the campus.
Yes, it is.
HBCU. The feeling of home, the feeling of belonging. Everybody like, yo, welcome to the school. Goddamn, you about to. I'm not saying it's all cakewalk. I'm not saying that. But when you start seeing them frats hit the yard and the sororities hit the yard, and the atmosphere is unbeatable. You ain't beating
the
atmosphere.
The culture and just that feel, that vibe. There's nothing like it.
That random barbecue on Tuesday. Oh, we was just going to the courtyard. Well, what the barbecue over there? Man, look, I went to TSU. It would be I'm going to the courtyard. Let's just say I want to go to the little Taco Bell in the student section. I'm walking, looking, whatever. I smell it. You smell it.
Yep. You smell it first.
Like, hold on, somebody barbecuing. You get closer, then you see a crowd of people, doggone Q-Dog stepping, Deltas, Alphas, all of them, they stepping. You see the smoke from the grill. Listen, it's like being at home. It's like being at home, man. HBCU
it is, man.
Experience is like none other. Like it ain't the same. It ain't the same. Oh,
listen, until you've been in the dorm room where the other tenants almost burned down the dorm because they having a secret fish fry downstairs and they don't want the dorm lead to know. Listen, you ain't been to school. You ain't been to a school until that.
You don't know nothing about what's going on.
Okay.
You ain't been.
Or the dude that cut hair. The dude that cut hair at the end of the hallway.
Oh, the dude that cut hair down the hallway.
My God.
Hey, go get your.
Oh my God.
And then if you ain't got no money, you might be able to ship him a couple of hot dogs and some packs of noodles.
Okay.
Don't even worry about it.
Christmas cut it, get.
It's like me.
You get a haircut and a piece of fish.
Oh, or the other dude that's starting up that jack you up and they hey, they be like, don't go to dude in 217, go to dude in 220. 217, he all right, but if it's an emergency, go to 217. But if you got time, 220, 225 is where it's at. Man, let me tell you. And then I'm from the era of burning CDs, so you had the hustles out there.
Oh my God.
Man.
Get back to this football conversation.
Man. The bootlegs.
Let's get back to football right quick.
Look, we had a moment. All right, let's talk about the Super Bowl, man. So, who you got, Ace? You the guest here. So, who you got?
The Rams. I got the Rams. Rams. 31-28. 31-28 Rams. It'd be a tight one. Honestly, I think that'll be a situation where the Bengals may jump out early, get a little lead, but the Rams will come back. There's too much firepower. You got Odell, you got Cup, Stafford, Akers, all of those weapons, man. And then that defense.
Shout out to Matthew Stafford right quick. Shout out to Matthew Stafford, young. And he grew so much through his career, young. Like, I don't know what I expected from him when he first came into the NFL because I feel like, wasn't he drafted with like Andrew Luck or something that same year or something like that?
No, he was drafted with Mark Sanchez back in.
Mark Sanchez. 09. Mm-hmm.
Yo, I forgot Mark Sanchez was a
Sanchez.
And Mark Sanchez was supposed to be like the next big thing. But shout out to Matthew Stafford, man, because he has come a long way.
Georgia Bulldog.
Who you got on the Super Bowl?
Oh, I don't know. I'm actually rooting for the Bengals, though, because they're the underdog in this situation. And I always go for the underdog. But me personally, I'm rooting for that Super Bowl halftime show.
Oh, man. We're going to talk about that before we end the show. I promise. All right. So my prediction is I'm definitely going to go with the Rams on this one because I feel like Odell can't be denied this time, man. Like, I'm not saying he's been denied all the time. I'm just saying
it's his time.
After the season that he had before on other teams, I think this might be it. I think he got. I don't even want to say the other team name, Trey. I just don't. I feel like he got a chip on his shoulder.
They did a lot. They did a lot.
Go ahead.
it goes back to what we was talking about earlier, how the leash of a black athlete or coach is so short. They tried to bury Odell. They said he was done, couldn't play, all of that good stuff. Then as soon as he gets traded,
Yep.
oh yeah, he ain't lose his
That's a
talent.
regularly
He just needed
scheduled
the opportunity.
program.
Yeah.
Back to your
Mhm.
regularly scheduled program.
They was treating my man like he was Cam.
Damn, Cam.
Y'all know how bad it hurt me watching
And
Cam
the
right
thing
now,
is
man.
with Cam too, like look, remember how bad they was talking about Cam, how he dressed, how he talked in the interview, how his hair was, and then you look at Joe.
Mm-hmm.
How he talk
Yeah, and
online
you,
with
then
the
you
Instagram.
look at Joe Burrow. He ain't doing nothing different than Cam is, but they not saying a word. They glorifying it. Oh, he got so much
You know
swagger,
what?
he, chippy this and that. Like, what
Mm-hmm.
Cam dressed like that?
Man, you just keep coming back with the proofs
Yeah.
on these wild conversations. We supposed to be having fun. Here we go. We back
See what
into it again.
happened? See what I mean?
But you're
See what I
absolutely
mean?
correct.
It's something about black people in power. That's all
listen.
I'm gonna say. It's just something about black people in power.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because Cam got mad influence. And I'm hoping
some people became
now he's back home with the Panthers so that he can get a better season.
hopefully.
this
Some
next
people
go
became
around.
Panthers fans just because of Cam Newton.
So let's talk about this halftime really fast. And because we got basically the 90s, early 2000s greatest halftime ever.
Well,
put together
Kendrick
right
is
now.
in early 2000s.
Because who we
I
got?
don't
We
know
got
who.
Mary J. Blige. Well, I know, but he on the
Yeah.
newer side of things. But we got
Uh huh.
Eminem, we
Snoop
got
Dogg.
Dr. Dre, Mary J, Snoop, D.O. Double
That's
Jizzle.
That's
SNOOP
dope.
Who else is on
double
there?
G.
That's dope.
Dr.
That's
Dre,
it
you
though,
said
right?
Dr. Dre, right?
That's the whole lineup.
That,
Yeah,
that's
that's the whole
dope.
lineup, I think. And
And
Kendrick.
Kendrick?
I know, right? Yeah,
Kendrick
Kendrick
too.
coming in, Black Jesus
I don't
moment. You
even.
know what I'm saying? Is he gonna have the? Is he wearing the white outfit like he did when he came back
It's
this
too.
past time?
That's
If he
too
ain't got
woke.
on the
That's
white
too
flow,
woke.
if he ain't got on the
That's
white
too woke for
linen,
NFL. We gotta think about the NFL here.
that's what I want.
We
That's
gotta
what
think
I
about
want.
the NFL here. We gotta
You
think about
right,
the NFL here.
but I need white linen Kendrick.
It's
Though.
gonna
You
be
know what
so
I'm
funny
saying?
because
Just
this
feels
episode
right.
is
It
gonna
just feels
air
right.
after the Super Bowl.
Right, it is. We
And
just
people
gonna have
gonna
to
be
put this
like,
up and be like, "Yeah, we was right."
yeah,
And then
right. It's
Hold on, let me just go and say it. Man, that Super Bowl was crazy. You know what I'm saying? The team that won was beasting. It was a good
it was a
game.
good game.
The
It was the
commercials
best
was
Super Bowl
on
in the
point.
past 5 years. Say no.
Ever. And Beyonce showed up as a surprise during that halftime. I ain't even see her coming. Beyonce was there.
I lost it.
Yeah.
I lost it.
She-
I love me some
she sung,
Beyonce. Beyonce.
Man, when she came through with the drum line and the dance girls, man. We thought Dre was gonna end it, but Dre was like, hey y'all, coming to the stage.
No, that's not how.
Beyonce. Then
That's
everybody
not
was
how
like,
they're gonna
what?
introduce her. Stop it. Stop it. They're just gonna cue the music, and all you're gonna see her rise out of the dance floor. That is it.
And then Katy Perry
Hey,
came
chill.
riding on the unicorn, and then they like threw her off the stage.
She came riding through on a dark horse.
Yo, that came. I was like, Juicy J was there, and then Bone Thugs and Harmony showed up, and everything. That show was crazy. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm
Wait.
y'all. We got it.
Wait. You know Bone Thugs and Harmony
man.
ain't gonna be invited to nothing else after that versus battle. They ain't gonna be invited to nothing else. God dang, young. I got
That
another
shit was
tear coming out.
crazy. Best verses. Most interesting
That
verses
ever
that ever
happened.
happened in
That
our
has
lifetime.
happened so far.
Isn't it? So far. Fat Joe and Ja Rule still my favorite one though, I think. Because it was just like Fat Joe was tired, he was changing outfits.
Come get me.
Him and- People discovered Fat Joe said the N-word. I'm like, y'all didn't know? Like, this ain't even new. Like, he been saying this. Y'all just now finding out. What?
People was just finding out.
Oh yeah, Rick Ross was at the Super Bowl too.
Oh, Rick Ross is gonna be at the
mad.
Super
They
Bowl.
were, like, outraged.
Rick Ross gonna come out too. They gonna.
He coming out with that.
Did y'all see the Tupac hologram too that they had?
Hey, I kind of want that for real though. Tupac and Biggie hologram.
We already got a Tupac hologram before. You don't remember?
Well, he
It's
said
on
Tupac
YouTube.
and
Go check it
Biggie.
out. Oh, he want them together on the stage at the same time.
And Biggie. Yeah.
But they gonna perform.
Yeah. Saying I love you, Biggie.
How they gonna do
That
that?
might
That
might do some healing.
Never just
That might
have
do
stuff
some
straight
healing
up.
there. It might see some
It
tears
might.
and some hugs.
Yeah, the Tupac.
I
You
don't know what
remember
song
the
they gonna
Tupac
perform.
hologram came out and they did California Love, him and Dr. Dre. You remember it happened on the halftime show, remember?
We might
That
see
might
that.
could happen. That
We
might
might see that right there. Yeah,
Y'all
we
might
might
make
actually
me
see
watch
that
the
right there.
halftime show. I usually don't watch it. I go to the restroom, load up on nachos and wings, and then come back. I might check.
Oh no, this is definitely a halftime
look,
show to watch for sure. Especially for us.
Listen.
us.
I'm gonna go ahead and say it like this. Michael Jackson. This is my top 5 halftime shows. Michael Jackson, Prince, Beyonce, Bruno Mars,
Oh, he killed that.
Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Mary J.
My-
Blige.
my-
I'm gonna go ahead and
My
throw them in
top
there. It's gonna be
five
great.
probably
It's gonna be
Janet
great.
Jackson's,
knew
Janet
it.
Jackson, Janet Jackson
Oh.
again, Janet
Oh.
Jackson, and that
Bruno
one
Mars.
with, Justin Timberlake with Janet Jackson.
Yo, y'all don't know that. We gonna end the show after this. That moment though, that happened.
Yeah.
What was that, like 2000 or something? I'm mad teenager at this point. Everybody else is older than me in the room, and then it just happened, and then the screen went black. Every dude in the room was like, "Holy snap!" And I'm like,
I don't even think I realized. I was like 12 or 13 when it happened. I was like 12 or 13 when it happened.
"Yeah, I didn't realize it either." These men's in their 40s and 50s is like, this was the pinnacle of what they've been waiting for
They just been waiting.
since 89. They've been waiting on this. They've been waiting for this moment.
So
Her
her whole breast was exposed, right?
with bedazzling around it. and everything.
Yes, with the
The
had
nipple
like a
plate,
star
the nipple cover.
thing. The nipple piercing, yeah, and that's what I saw. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I
Like,
saw too.
That's in
That's
my
what I saw,
head.
too.
That's the thing that
And I
sticks
just
out
thought
the
it was
most.
like one of those little Kim things.
I didn't realize it was a
I thought it was a
whole.
little Kim thing. You remember how she went to?
Yeah,
she went
yeah,
to
I didn't know.
or something with that dress. Yeah,
No, that was
MTV
MTV.
Awards.
That was
Yeah,
MTV
yeah.
Awards, right? The hip hop awards,
It was
whatever.
had the
VMAs.
Awards, whatever.
Mhm.
the dress with the cutout.
Yeah,
with the
the
cutout.
VMAs.
Face.
The
No,
pasty.
Janet
Pasty.
had-
That's what
Janet
it's
had-
called. Why did
Janet
I
had
know that? What the fuck?
Janet had a Naruto ninja star on hers with the little hole in it. We were like, hey,
Yeah,
all right.
yeah.
All
So
right,
Janet is an
hey.
anime fan.
All right, and I was
Naruto
recording
was
that
out-
game too. My room was in the basement. I was like, let me record.
How many times did you rewind that?
Space Games game.
All right, Space Gang. Do me a favor and head over to www.thebkspadeshow.com. That's www.thebkspadeshow.com, where you can find all the blogs, all the merchandise, all the videos, and all the audio, all in one place. And also we have like newer blogs coming out every week on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So make sure you guys head over to the website, check that out. Also, Novocaine, let them know what
Head
else they
on
need
over
do
to
for
Spotify
us.
and give us a 5-star rating. Head on over to Good Pods and give us a 5-star rating. And don't forget to head over to Apple Podcasts as well to give us a written review and leave us a 5-star rating as well.
Thank you for coming through. It was a pleasure having you on the show as usual, as always a blast. I have been. Oh wait, you have anything to say to the?
I mean, everybody,
Space
man,
Gang?
just rest in peace, Amir Locke. I'll say that.
Rest in peace to Mary Locke. Rest in peace to Mary Locke.
That was a crazy situation right there. As always, this stuff is heavy, but we can't go on now. We gotta end it. So, alright, Space Gang. This has been our guest, Ace McFly. I have been the BK Spadez, here with my very lovely co-host,
baby.
Alright, man. Y'all be cool. We out.